What's going on, guys? Bexio back, and today we're going to be talking about plug power because the chart is shaping up to be something pretty insane, and we will see what could play out from there, as well as more news on plug. We could jump right into the price chart of plug power, and this is a massive thing on its own. We can see right now we are hovering at this top of the red channel here, had a massive move up. Basically, we originally broke into here, came back down, hovered, and we were expecting to kind of stay on this bottom side for a while. And this did stay here for almost 2 weeks. And we rallied up to the top here, and right now we're stuck at the top. So the question right now is, are we going to break out of this? And then the next target is $39, basically $40 for plug power, or are we going to come back down, maybe test the bottom again and keep hovering in this zone, kind of like we did in this area, which is why I have this channel as a red channel, because it has massive resistance and massive support. So getting out of this channel is probably going to be a little bit tougher than, just sitting here and breaking up, but it's not impossible. We have been here for basically 4 days right now. It wouldn't be surprising to come back down to this channel, but the market, I mean, you can see on this left side here, absolutely great, really green. I mean, we have the meme stocks, GameStop, AMC really running, but overall, the market's pretty green. So it's not surprising if the market itself can kind of pull plug through this like major resistance, and then we'll be looking to see if we run up to this $39 mark here, because there's nothing really else happening in this zone where, I mean, maybe you can get stuff around like $35 ish, but if the market can continue being green and just in a good state, then it wouldn't surprise me at all for plug power to just have a rally over this and get above this resistance, which would be massive because it would cement a very strong support, because obviously it's very strong resistance right now, and it could very easily become a massive support if we get pulled above it. So that's some things that I'd be looking at right now. We have been around this channel for a while, and we were talking about that before, that this obviously massive support resistance, when we were below it, it was massive resistance to get back in here. We managed to do that and have now been in this zone for a couple of weeks now, and the market overall doing very good. So it would not be surprising to have a couple days around this zone here and then have it move up, and then trying to see if we can get to that $39 mark or even 35, but anything above here would just be a good move. And for plug, we still have the analysts that are still very bullish. No sells on plug, either a hold or a buy, with the average target of $40, the high of 78. Crazy things, but even more is maybe the hedge funds here. So we saw this change go from 518,000 to over 1 million, and then we're seeing right now 674,000 shares bought by hedge funds for this last quarter. So these recent months aren't in here yet, aren't in this data. We see a little bit of a step down, which isn't a big deal. It's whatever. We see the price moving up. Probably seems like there's more hedge funds getting in. But if there isn't more hedge funds, then it's more retail pushing the stock, which ultimately doesn't really matter. The price is going to react how people are feeling about the price in the market. But with the price moving up like it is, wouldn't shock me to see these numbers come out and see hedge funds back around the million shares, getting back over this and seeing that they're buying heavy. There's been a lot of positive things about plug, and seeing the chart shape up is just one of them. There's been a lot of even fundamental things doing pretty well, like this right here from the Motley Fool, talking about plug power stock. A little bit older of an article, but still good info in here, talking about the big story right here is this, where it says, in a statement released on the morning of March 23rd, China outlined ambitious plans to boost production of green hydrogen. China aims to produce up to 200,000 metric tons of renewable-based hydrogen per year and have around 50,000 hydrogen fuel cell vehicles by 2025. So that's massive steps for China, and China itself is a massive market. So them going and trying to get hydrogen, then plug power is the largest hydrogen producer in the world, and that they're saying green hydrogen, that's what plug power does, is green hydrogen. So they want that. Plug makes it. That means Plug could have a massive buyer for their hydrogen coming up in just a few years. and even up to that time. So they plan to have 50,000 hydrogen fuel cell vehicles by 2025. So that's 3 years from now. Plug Power, without knowing this news before, years ago, was 2024 was their profitability date. If you throw in a massive country like China that they have a want to get to hydrogen energy, that they want to focus on this and make it a goal to get to 200,000 metric tons of green hydrogen and get 50,000 cars on the road for green hydrogen, then it's just a massive buyer in the market where Plug has been building up their infrastructure, building up their plants across the globe. They have tons of in North America and they have stuff going on in Europe. They've been literally taking over the globe for making green hydrogen. And on top of that, the issue with Ukraine and Russia pushes green hydrogen. You can see, meanwhile, green hydrogen is gaining more attention than ever, partly because of the Russia Ukraine conflict that has sent prices of fossil fuels soaring through the roof and shifted focus on alternative sources of energy. So, although we are not close to a world where there is no need for oil, we can have this move towards hydrogen, and using this, and Plug would be a direct beneficiary of that because they make the green hydrogen. They already set up the infrastructure. They're ready to go and basically get into production very soon. And other companies just aren't in that spot. So what would happen is they would have the massive buyers. Plug would have first mover advantage, and everything would be very good for Plug Power. And just to throw this in here, because we were talking about analysts, you can see Morgan Stanley has a price target of $60 per share. I don't know if that's their 12-month price target, but it very well could be. Obviously, they are very bullish on Plug Power and hydrogen as a business as a whole. And we got some smaller news here, like building these spheres for Plug Power's New York green hydrogen plant. So basically a storing place for the hydrogen. Basically, you can see we'll produce 45 metric tons per day of green liquid hydrogen, making it the largest green hydrogen facility in North America. Just goes to show you the infrastructure that Plug is building out is massive. They are going to be able to produce hydrogen, supply hydrogen, and be the main beneficiary of a hydrogen economy. And that makes them a great company to be invested in for the long term. This isn't something that's going to happen tomorrow, but obviously they have the largest factory in North America. That's a good way to start. And the quote here, offering tremendous long-term benefits once green energy becomes the norm over the next decade. So exactly what I'm saying, over the next decade, Plug Power is definitely something you look short term would be 2024 to make sure they're hitting profitability numbers, getting profitable, doing what they said they're going to do. And then 2030 to looking for exporting tons of hydrogen, becoming an energy giant, being that type of company. And that's going to get pushed forward. Maybe it gets pushed forward quickly from something like China saying their goals are by 2025 to have so much green hydrogen and hydrogen cars and doing all this stuff. If massive economies are thinking that way, then it could happen before 2030 pretty easily. And then finally, we have the institutional ownership is actually ticking up on Plug Power. That's a good sign. That's hedge funds, institutions buying the stock, liking it. And then the short float is actually gone up as well. It was like 12%. Now we're over 13%. That is something that you can keep your eye on. I don't think it really matters. It's not getting anywhere that's crazy, but it could offer a little bit of a bounce up for support or for like the price because of shorts getting liquidated. I don't think it's going to be anything massive. We're only at 13%, but it is something to just look at and see interesting. But this number is big. Institutional ownership is on the rise, over 54%. This is around, there was around 51%, something like that before, just a few months ago. Now we're on the rise to almost 55%. And when the institutions get involved, they push the price hard. They have a lot of money. So that's going to do it for this video on Plug Power. I think that's going to be a great energy giant in the future, but it's going to take time to get there, and it's going to build out infrastructure. It's been doing that, and it's on the right path to actually going down a pretty good hydrogen economy and being the main beneficiary of something like that. But as always, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe on the road to 1,000 subscribers. And I'll see you guys in my next video.